What is up, everyone? I hope you all are doing well. My name is Ishaan and welcome to the video. Man, I got some big updates for you all. Let's start off with, if you've been following along with the videos, then I've been trying to submit this abstract for a scientific conference, and man, I finally submitted the abstract on Tuesday, and I found out in the first week of February if it's gonna get accepted or not. And it's a lunar planetary science conference that's usually held in Texas in March, and man, if the COVID situation turns out to be fine and my abstract gets accepted, yeah boy, it's definitely gonna be in Texas during that time. So man, I'm just hoping for the best, and I'm gonna keep you all updated and posted about that ride. And yeah man, with that said, I go back to school in just 1 week. 1 week I go back for my last semester of my undergraduate career. Man, that shit is mind-baffling how time just really flew. And naturally I started to reminisce about the old times that I've had at Wheaton, like just such a diverse array of experiences, like not just in a learning setting but also like the social life, especially pre-COVID. Man, like that shit was nuts. But I came in with a very like detailed and planned out way as to how I wanted my journey to look like at Wheaton. And like I was coming in as a pre-med track person. I wanted to major in neuroscience, like hardcore, and I had like planned out every single class that I was gonna take each semester to be able to make sure that I was following through on those things. And of course, like that plan didn't work out the way I had expected it to or hoped it to. And I mean, that's just an inevitability that comes with planning things, is that things are definitely going to fall apart. You're going to be experiencing all kinds of roadblocks or obstacles that you'd never really expect. And that brings me to today's video, where I kind of want to go over some of my past experiences where I have planned things and they didn't really turn out the way that they were supposed to, and kind of go along some tips as to how to deal with that and how to go through those obstacles when your plan that you had set out for yourself didn't work out the way that you wanted it to. My first and number one most important tip that I can give you all regarding this is to just simply trust the process. Realize that anything that comes your way is somehow meant to be there, and it's gonna provide some sort of purpose, and time's gonna tell you how that's gonna work out. So giving my personal example from summer 2020 or even summer 2021, both of the times I had applied to a lot of research internships at the time, like official SURF programs, SURF programs, and REUs. And I got rejected from all of the things that I'd applied to. In summer 2020, it was because of COVID reasons, and in summer 2021, there were some other reasons, or there were problems or maybe shortcomings in my application that didn't really fully express my interest and my passion. But you gotta realize that those types of things are definitely part of the process, part of the journey, and something that you're gonna be experiencing at some point, no matter what it is that you're involved in. And I didn't at the time, of course, I was very discouraged. I was like, okay, like what are my next steps? I need to really accept what's at hand and really devise what I'm gonna do next in order to combat this. And that's when you start to realize that you have that responsibility on you to continue to take action no matter what it is that you're going to be encountering in front of you. And man, I continue to push hard. In summer 2020, I was emailing my professors asking them for research projects. In summer 2021, I was cold emailing random scientists being like, I'm really interested in doing this kind of stuff. Like, if you have something, I'd definitely love to hop on with you. And that's basically how I scored some really great research internships that I also ended up getting funded on the side, that really helped me create my personal experience, my personal trajectory. And that was my foot into the world of research and realizing my actual passion. And none of those things would have happened if I didn't get those rejections. If I had just gotten accepted into the program, I would have just taken that traditional path, gone into that thing, and life could have turned out very differently. I guess that's a topic of the multiverse. Very complex thing. I definitely want to make a video on that. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But yeah, if my rejections weren't there, then I wouldn't have been able to take that path. and actually realize my passion in the type of research that I'm doing now. So even if your plans that you really want to work out and they end up like falling apart, man, don't crush yourself. Just really trust the process and really trust the fact that it was something that was meant to happen, and it's something that's gonna lead you into a different trajectory, that's gonna bring on even greater opportunities and gonna help you learn more about yourself and your actual purpose and passion. Tip number 2, recognize your shortcomings. Now, what I mean by this is recognize that you're at a specific spot in your life where you know a certain amount of things or a set amount of things, and you're making your decision or plan based off of that. But then take yourself out of those shoes and really dive into the future for just 2 minutes. I know it's really hard to imagine that because you don't really know what's gonna happen, but just imagine that you're 2 years ahead and you've been through some very diverse experiences and you got to learn new things, which means that at that point in time in the future, you might make a different decision based on the new things that you've acquired. And in that case, your plan is definitely not going to be working out the way that you might have wanted it to. And that's exactly what happened with me, man. Like, I came in thinking I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to go to med school right off the bat. I got my pre-med courses, wanted to major in neuroscience, but man, didn't work out the way it was going to. And I mean, of course there's a reason for that, and the way that worked out was because as a kid, I was really interested in astronomy, and I didn't really have that opportunity ever in school to really discover or learn more about that interest. And it wasn't until I got to Wheaton that I started taking my astronomy courses, and I just fell in love again. It was like someone rekindled kind of a passion or fire that was already within me, and it just needed a little bit of more of salt or oil. And I think that Wheaton education really added that into it. And following that, when I took my chemistry courses, thanks to my pre-med coursework, I fell in love with chemistry. And then when I took my astrobiology course and the culmination of chemistry and astronomy came together there, that's when I realized this is something that's perfect for me. But this is not something I would have been able to do a year ago or 2 years ago from that time, because I didn't know those things back then. I didn't know that was something that was actually a possibility. I didn't know that there's something like that. There are opportunities there in that field. So you got to realize that you're in a spot in your life where you think you know a lot of things, and you do. You really do, because you've had experiences to teach you things. But also realize that even if you have plans, they're going to change, and they might change because of the fact that a couple of months, couple of years down the line, you're going to be learning new things, which means you're going to have this new knowledge where you can base your plan or base your decision off of the new things that you've learned. And that happens a lot, especially in college. And my last tip, number 3, is to fake it till you make it. Now, I know this probably sounds really crazy, but you really just have to hear my experience out on this one, man. So I started out my senior thesis in August, I think. No, late August is when we went back to school. So sometime around mid-September is when I started working on my thesis. I went into plan A, didn't end up working out. Plan B didn't end up working out again. Plan C didn't end up working out. So we were trying a lot of different potential routes. And man, at the time I was always I was just so in the moment, and I was feeling like, damn, how is this gonna get done? How am I gonna finish this? Is this even gonna work out? And I had those moments of doubts and anxiety that I wasn't gonna be able to finish my thesis. And now, just 2 or 3 months later, I'm at a point where I actually have a concrete experimental setup, and I'm gonna start my lab experiments as soon as I get back on campus. And this is where I need to remind you that you just have to keep on pushing and keep trying out things, because even if something doesn't work out, doesn't mean that the next thing won't. And honestly, you just need, let's say you try 10 different things, even if just one thing works out, it's going to be in your favor. So you just have to keep trying out different things to see what's going to work out, because as I said, you only need that one thing to work out, and it's going to make all the other tries worth it. And man, even the experimental setup that I have right now, I have to refine it all over again. And that only happened earlier this week because I found out some new information. And I'm saying, man, plans are not going to work out the way that you want them to, but that shouldn't deter you from continuing to keep on going. And the fake it till you make it advice, that really stems from the fact that quite mentally, you really do have to continue to fake it even on those when you have those feelings of doubts or anxiety, and continue to wiggle your way through in some sort of capacity, even if it means you're going to do it at a slow pace, because what that's going to do is it's going to keep you going, and you're going to be continuing to take some sort of action. And man, if you're doing that, then down the line, like, there's literally no possible way that something won't work out in your favor. Like I said, man, plans can fall apart, change your path, change your trajectory, and you really just have to be willing to accept what's at hand, trust the process, realize that you have shortcomings and you can learn new things and make new decisions, and just keep on pushing until you have that one thing or a few things that really keep you going and that really bolster your experiences and really help you discover your purpose and your passion. If you made it this far into the video, let me know by smashing that thumbs up button, and I appreciate you so much for tuning in. And since you watched the entire thing, let me give you all a little fun fact. You know, when I usually record my videos, I have a script that I write out a day or two prior to recording, but today's video was very different because I didn't have any prior script, prior ideas, and I kind of just built the content along my recording process. And man, I had such a fun time recording this, and I'm just really excited to see how the final video turns out. And again, if you like it, smash that thumbs up button. And if you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications, because I release 2 new videos every single week, and I will catch all of y'all in the next video.